Bill's been great. I mean, he's a master of the big musical extravaganza anyway, and I'd worked with him before, so I knew his style, and we spent a couple of months really picking over the text and just seeing how we could bring some sort of added nuances to, particularly to the Beast, who is in the cartoon is a little more two-dimensional, and slightly less kind of grrr, and a bit more human, I guess. And I think that was one of the interesting things for us, was to find those little human beats, and sort of bring him slightly away from the more animalistic, and actually just to make him a human trapped inside this creature. I suppose one of the big differences is that you don't see the Beast prior to being a beast in the cartoon. Really, you don't. I mean, I think you see a sort of stained glass window version of him, but there's no real sense of what he was like. And in this, we have just a hint, and we see him at the ball, and I think something that Bill and I were keen to sort of bring out was this sense of a sort of petulant, spoilt child, and the sense of kind of entitledness that led to his downfall, really, and so that was quite fun, just to kind of work into this very short little montage, almost entirely through the medium of dance, which is not something I'd done a huge amount of before. But that was really, really interesting to kind of introduce that element, and then see that threaded through the Beast's story, and to see him curse not just for having refused a rose, but actually for all his other traits that he could be damned for. There was a couple of months there of quite intense. It was like sort of musical theatre camp, really. Singing, dancing, training every day, just trying to get my body in shape. And that was, I suppose, one of the other things that we were looking at was, who was this prince before he was a beast? And one thing that we were certain of is that he was a dancer, and quite a good dancer, unfortunately. So I had to, become quite a good dancer, and so yeah, there was a lot of dance rehearsals. Anthony Van Laas, the choreographer, was extraordinary in kind of training me up, and just his whole team really working on getting me to hold myself in the right way and move in the right way, and that really informed a lot of the Prince, but also the Beast as well. And the movement sessions were, a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, every department, every time you walk in there, you just get a sense of the scale of it. My room is just along the corridor from all the makeup department, and Jenny Sherkle's team. Just the number of wigs. Every day I walk into work, and there's literally like a corridor half a mile long, just full of jewel-encrusted wigs, and then you come on these sets and you think, oh my god, yeah, every day you come in, there's something epic that you just think, oh my god, there's so much work gone into this. Yeah, it's quite incredible. Yeah, well, Days in the Sun is beautiful. I mean, it's I would say it's as sort of heartwarming and beautiful as Tale as Old as Time. Really, it's got a real sort of classic feel to it, and working with Alan Menken has been quite an experience. He's quite an amazing man, just such a hilarious character, apart from anything else. But just every musical idea that comes out of his mouth sounds like some sort of Broadway hit, and so he's. Yeah, it's been really interesting just working with him. He was in the studio for our pre-records, and just getting right in there, and he really knows what he wants. And he's written me a new song, which is Evermore, and yeah, I hope people enjoy that too. Well, it's been great. I guess I did get to meet them quite early on, as in their sort of human incarnation, which helped. So that actually, before. I had to go in and shoot with them as objects, and I was thinking, yeah, just about get my head around Ewan McGregor being a candlestick. So you walk in and there's a candlestick on the table and you're talking to the candlestick, and then of course when you go to shoot the scene, they're like, oh right, now we're going to take the candlestick away and replace it with an LED light on a stick, and so it's just like an extra level of weird that you have to deal with. But you still get his voice and Ian McKellen's voice come in, and Emma Thompson, and it was nice actually just chatting to Emma about the relationship that the Beast has with Mrs. Potts, because obviously she is as close as he has to a sort of mother figure, really. She's a bit like his sort of like a strict aunt or something who just sort of kind of keeps him in line, keeps him in check. And it was nice to sort of chat about that and establish that, you know, between ourselves. And then, you know, obviously she's nowhere near, it's just a teapot on the day. But I do think of Emma every time I look at that teapot, which helps. She's been great. I mean, it's you know, such a close relationship, that, and you know, it was something I was very keen to do, was to kind of calibrate the beast according to the Belle that she wanted to be and to play. And you know, so we spent a lot of time together early on, just talking about, you know, beauty and beastliness and men and women and masculinity and femininity and sort of good and evil and all these sort of polar opposite things, I suppose. And you know, trying to work in some of those things, and ultimately realizing that the tale is not so much about, you know, an ugly thing and a beautiful girl, but actually about, you know, the beauty and the beastliness in all of us, and sort of two sides of people, and learning to live with that balance, I guess. And she's a very, very interesting girl and very intellectually engaged with the fairy tale and the story, and that just makes for, you know, a much richer working experience, really. And I hope that kind of, you know, infuses all of our scenes, really. Josh Gad is hilarious, and I don't have nearly enough to do with him in this film, but it's been great just sort of hanging out with him, getting to know him, and and Luke, who's just perfect as Gaston, really. Yeah, I mean, just to hear Audra McDonald sing live for a couple of days was pretty cool, and you know, she brings an amazing wealth of talent to that song "Days in the Sun." Actually, you know, and seeing them all sort of done up in their you know, really extravagant costumes. I think her wig alone is one of the masterpieces of this film. And she has this wonderful dog that accompanied her, and Stanley Tucci, and you know, again, an epic wig in the opening sequence, and some quite special teeth going on as well. Yeah, just a really, really fun bunch, and I think, you know, when everyone was together in their human form, there was a real sense that, you know, we were doing something that was fun, that everyone was really excited about. Yeah, I think you know, I hope that we will do justice to, you know, the love that people have for the animated film, but, you know, that people felt that we've you know, that we've taken it on, moved it on a bit, brought something fresh to it, brought a few new songs to it. I hope they like those, and yeah, I hope that, you know, it's you know, it becomes another classic, really, that families enjoy, and that kids enjoy, and get them sort of engaged with the fairy tale again, because it is one of the great fairy tales, I think.
Hi Lisa, here with some interesting movie extras facts for you. One of the earliest animation techniques was stop motion. It was first used in the late 1890s. Notable uses of stop motion include King Kong from 1933 and the Skeleton Skirmish in Jason and the Argonauts from 1963. Now, Toy Story, the first feature-length animated film to be created with CGI, generated 1,000 gigabytes of data and required 800,000 machine hours of editing. Are you an animation movie fan? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe to our channel and check the notification bell to always be up to date with all the latest releases.